from KPRC. Local 2 News at 5 starts right now.
It's a big national story developing now in the Houston area. A man accused of abducting a University of Virginia student arrested on a beach in Galveston County. Our cameras were there as the suspect, Jesse Matthew, made his first court appearance.
He was real soft-spoken. Didn't say a whole lot. Said his name was George. Obviously, that wasn't his name.
We are also hearing from people in the town of Gilchrist who spotted the suspect before he was arrested. But the question remains, where is Hannah Graham?
We don't know where Hannah Graham is, and we have to find her.
Investigators in Virginia have been looking for her for nearly 2 weeks now. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Bill Baessa.
Hello, I'm Dominique Soxa. Boy, we've been following the story all day today. Here's what we know. The suspect, Jesse Leroy Matthew Jr., is not challenging his extradition, which means he will be returned to Virginia.
We're also learning he spent several nights camping on a beach before being arrested in Gilchrist on the Bolivar Peninsula. University of Virginia student Hannah Graham was last seen September 13th. The reward for finding Hannah has now reached $100,000. We have live team coverage for you with Local 2's Ryan Korsgaard in Gilchrist, where people spotted Matthew on the beach. But we begin with investigator Jace Larson at the Galveston County Sheriff's Office with brand new information we have learned about conditions in...
Hey, Bill, we just learned this information within the last 60 minutes at a news conference that was held here. We have learned that this suspect is being held in the Galveston County Jail in an isolation cell. That is after he appeared not once, but twice in court earlier today. The search for clues about Hannah Graham is underway here in Galveston. 3 investigators from Virginia arrived mid-afternoon.
They hit the ground running. That's why they're not here right now. They have already are starting to look at the vehicle, and I know questions have been asked about any evidence of the young lady, and right now she is not to be located.
After a day of 2 court appearances, including one where Jesse Matthew agreed not to fight extradition back to Virginia, investigators are hoping he will sit down and talk with them. They're currently searching the vehicle that was found with Matthew, but so far, no signs of Graham. At the news conference, we also met Deputy Perez, who is the deputy who responded to the call about a suspicious person.
I responded to a call as a suspicious person in the area.
And arrested Matthew. He spoke only briefly, citing the ongoing investigation. I'm told by investigators that Matthew could return back to Virginia as early as tomorrow. We're live in Galveston. Jace Larson, KPRC Local 2.
And tonight we're hearing from people in the town of Gilchrist who encountered Matthew before he was arrested. Investigators say Matthews drove nearly 1,300 miles from Charlottesville, Virginia to Galveston County. Our team coverage continues now with Ryan Korsgaard. He's live from the Bolivar Peninsula. And Ryan, tell us what people are saying about this out there.
Well, Dominique, there was one man who was visiting here. He was fishing yesterday when a man came up and did not tell him the correct name.
When Mike Rodenberg caught a big red fish Wednesday, his neighbor on the beach in Gilchrist on the Bolivar Peninsula noticed.
Asked why I turned it loose, so I told him, I don't keep the big red fish. And he wanted to know if they were good eating. I said, yeah. And he asked if he could have one. I said, sure, the next one I caught, I'd give to him.
Rodenberg says that the man had only a tent and a car on the beach just off of Highway 87 in Galveston County. Not only was he hungry,
he said he needed a cooler. I told him I didn't have a cooler for him, so I couldn't help him out. He left. I thought he was going to get a cooler.
A clerk at this Valero Corner Mart on Highway 87 says Matthew came in about noon Wednesday and bought a cooler and some charcoal, then left. Rodenberg says that he saw the man drive back, followed by a Galveston County Sheriff's deputy.
And they were there for quite a while. It wasn't like they pulled up on him and arrested him and took off. So I don't know what all they were doing.
He now knows that his neighbor on the beach was Jesse Matthew, wanted in connection with the disappearance of Hannah Graham. Rodenberg said that Matthew said his name was George. He soon learned the truth.
I thought that's crazy. He was right here on the Bolivar Peninsula camping. And I see people camping down here all the time.
And a deputy tells me that Matthew could have been here for a couple of days. It appears he was shopping along the way. We're live on Bolivar today. Ryan Korsgaard, KPRC, Local 2.
And stay with Local 2 for continuing coverage of Matthew's arrest here in Texas. Coming up at 6 tonight, Jace Larson's going to have more on what investigators in Virginia are now gathering. And right now on our website, click2houston.com, we do have a photo gallery timeline. We've got raw video of Jesse Matthews' court appearance and much more on the backstory on this case.
Meanwhile, the search is on to find out who posted a series of threats about Lamar High School on Twitter. Security was beefed up on campus there today, but nerves were still rattled. Local 2's Mark Boyle joins us live from the school in River Oaks. Mark, this really concerned parents today. Some of them, I understand, even kept their kids home today.
Quite a few, Bill. We just got the attendance numbers from the spokesperson from HISD. There are more than 3,000 students that attend Lamar High School here in River Oaks. More than 1,000 students did not show up to school today. Safe to say some of those didn't come because of these threats. However, we did talk to some students who did come, and they talked about their concerns because of those threats. Alexis Moreno is a senior at Lamar High School, one of many students who showed up to class today despite an online threat made against the River Oaks High School on Westheimer Road.
When I came here to school in the morning, I was like, okay, everything's fine. But I spoke to a police officer and he told me that no arrests have been made, and I got scared. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen today.
Police brought in extra patrols today, and it was noticeable. This all started when someone posted on Twitter, quote, "Everyone burn, 11:30 a.m. The profile picture shows the man arrested for the mass shooting in Aurora, Colorado. And under the bio, the suspect wrote, "Activation at 11:11.
Events like this, very seldom do these types of individuals tell us when they're going to do something. And it's just this is unfortunately probably some kind of ploy or tactic that someone's using to disrupt the school, and it's having the desired effect.
At the end of the day, nothing happened. It was business as usual. But parents tell us they told their kids to be on alert and have their cell phones ready to go just in case something does happen.
She can make those choices, and I told her 911 me if anything happens. Well, first thing I said was duck. Be smart.
Meanwhile, HISD and federal authorities are trying to track down the person who created the online profile and posted the threats. So far, there have been no arrests, and investigators haven't said that they think the poster is a student or what the motivation may be. And again, the main reason there was such a response today because of this threat is because it was written online and there was a specific time. You heard the police there mention that specific part. That's the part that really generated so many beefed up patrols. And this is still an active and ongoing investigation. Again, no arrests so far in this case. Reporting live in River Oaks this afternoon, Mark Boyle, KPRC Local 2.
Thank you, Mark. And tonight, a woman hired to help the Jacinto City Girls Softball League is accused of stealing from them. Thousands of dollars ended up missing. Local 2's Sion Rhodes has more on how this theft was discovered.
For years, the Jacinto City Girls Softball League trusted Alicia Mena with the team's finances. But over the last year, money disappeared. The team had questions and Mena didn't have answers. Now she's under arrest. Problems surfaced at the start of last season when Mena, who was the president, told the team they were out of money. Parents jumped into action, holding a fundraiser that collected nearly $6,700. Money that police say she never deposited.
The bank said we had a zero balance.
A short time later, Mena said the league needed to raise $3,000 more or the kids wouldn't have uniforms. That's when a newly elected treasurer started asking questions and went to police.
When I interviewed her, she never brought any papers, any documentation. The treasurer that was elected for that year kept asking her for the books, and she never would bring any of the books. So that's how we found out that there was money missing.
In all, police say Mena stole nearly $7,500. Detective Betty Silva says Mena did not deny the accusations when confronted, but also didn't say what she did with the money.
I think anybody that steals from children needs to be behind bars.
The team's new treasurer tells me they are sorry that it had to come to this, but they hope through the criminal process they will get the answers they need and recover the money. In Jacinto City, Sion Rhodes, KPRC, Local 2.
Alicia Mena remains behind bars on a $2,000 bond. Well, after nearly 6 years in office, U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder announced his resignation today.
So I just want to say thank you, Eric. Thank you to the men and the women of the Justice Department who work day in and out for the American people And we could not be more grateful for everything that you've done, not just for me and the administration, but for our country.
Holder is the first African American to hold the job and the fourth longest serving Attorney General in U.S. history. He plans to stay on the job until his successor is confirmed.
And earlier today, President Obama lobbied at the United Nations to get additional nations to join the war against ISIS. This after a new intelligence report from Iraq claiming that ISIS terrorists plan imminent attacks on subways in the United States and in France. Now, the FBI and other agencies deny that there is a credible threat.
Well, a little boy sure is a big hero tonight.
There were big flames. It was on my dad's white van, so it burned it and it burned the garage.
Coming up, how he helped rescue his dad and his siblings in the middle of the night after their Southwest Houston home caught fire.
And we continue to see this area of showers shrinking in the Gulf of Mexico. Still, there's a little rain in the forecast. It's going to be a mild night. It'll be fairly pleasant as well. We'll tell you about the rain on the way in as we head into your all-important weekend. It looks like it's going to be more or less a nice one. We'll talk about when and where the rain comes straight ahead.
All right, Frank, thanks. In the meantime, thieves ransacking a home in Sugar Land. It was all caught on camera until one suspect got creative. Next on Local 2 News at 5.